Emancipation Day celebrates the liberation of ancestors of African descent who were enslaved by colonizers. Millions of Africans were taken away from their homes and forced to work under harsh conditions under this regime. Annually, on August 1st, the island observes the anniversary of the abolition of slavery in 1834. Organizers are hoping that the 2020 Emancipation Observance is a more meaningful celebration of freedom due to the currency of the global debate on racial injustice.
The dehumanization, the brutality, the atrocities that have been committed against them. And therefore, we have to do something significant, and not only for this year, but for many and many, many years to come. Because we have a very good example of their tenacity and their resilience is that we are here. And we know if they went through what they went through, and that there's some who survive it. They survive it with a price. And for freedom, for liberation, for emancipation, it's not free. And they paid with it with their sweat, their blood, and their lives.
The St. Lucia Black Lives Matter BLM chapter hosted a series of mobilization drives to drum up the numbers for the Grand Rally. The Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari's Aaron Alexander says the rally seeks to honor ancestors who paved the way for future generations.
We are having some artists, persons singing songs in terms of the theme of emancipation, in the whole spirit of emancipation. From reggae artists to calypso artists, we're going to have a few poets, some drumming, acknowledging the efforts and the sacrifice made by our ancestors, calling on the spirit of the ancestors to be with us and paying our respect. And in many ways, the nation of St. Lucia will be joining with, people all over the world who will be celebrating emancipation as well, in saying a collective thank you to our ancestors for fighting that struggle.
The killing of George Floyd in the U.S. sparked protests for freedom, equality, and an end to police brutality. The Emancipation Day commemoration also recognizes the continued struggle faced by persons of African descent.
We don't have economic power. We don't have certain rights and privileges that are given to certain people based on the color of their skin. So the battle continues until you have economic power, you have land. You feed yourself. The social justice part is not concretized. So we need to fight for that.
The BLM Emancipation Rally has been sanctioned by law enforcement. In June, the local BLM chapter hosted a rally at Constitution Park without the permission of the authorities. This time around, while the police has given them the thumbs up, participators must comply with health and safety protocols.
The number of participants must be less than 200. There must be a system in place to check and control the number of participants in attendance. The sound system must be kept at a moderate level. Adequate security must be in place to ensure the safety of patrons. Security officers must be in uniform. No vehicles should park on sidewalks or in any manner to create an obstruction to the other road users. And a police officer may withdraw the permits if he or she is of the view that any of the above conditions have been violated. In relation to the Black Lives Matter's application, there is an additional condition that they are to adhere to the program of activities as submitted in the application.
The Emancipation Day rally is set to commence at 1 p.m. on Saturday, August 1st. The event is restricted to 200 persons. However, the organizers will attempt to broadcast the observance virtually so others can join in on the celebration. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.